60 Unit 2. Electronic Spreadsheet Advanced Session 1. Analyze data using scenarios and goal-seek Session 2. Link data and spreadsheets Session 3. Share and review a spreadsheet Session 4. Create and use macros in spreadsheet. 61 Session 1. Analyze data using scenarios and goal-seek consolidating data. Data consolidation allows you to gather together your data from separate worksheets into a master worksheet. In other words, the data consolidation function takes data from a series of worksheets or workbooks and summaries it into a single worksheet that you can update easily. 1. Open the worksheet that contains the cell ranges to be consolidated. 2. Choose the Consolidate option under the Data menu as shown in Figure 2.1. The Consolidate dialog box is shown in Figure 2.2. Figure 2.1. Consolidate option under Data menu. Figure 2.2. Consolidate dialog box defining the data to be consolidated. 62.3. If the source data range list contains named ranges, you can select a source cell range to consolidate with other areas. If the source range is not named, click in the field to the right and either type a reference for the first source data range or use the mouse to select the range on the sheet. You may need to move the Consolidate dialog to reach the required cells. 4. Click Add. The selected range now appears on the Consolidation Ranges list. 5. Select additional ranges and click Add after each selection. 6. Specify where you want to display the result by selecting a target range from the Copy Results to box. If the target range is not named, click in the field next to Copy Results to enter the reference of the target range or select the range using the mouse or position the cursor in the top left cell of the target range. 7. Select a function from the function list. The function specifies how the values of the consolidation ranges are linked. The sum function is the default setting. Most of the available functions are statistical, such as average, min, max, stdev, and the tool is most useful when you are working with the same data over and over. 8. Optionally click More in the Consolidate dialog to display additional settings. Select Link to Source Data to insert the formulas. This generates the results in the target range instead of the actual results. If you link the data, any values modified in the source range are automatically updated in the target range. The corresponding cell references in the target range are inserted in consecutive rows, which are automatically ordered and then hidden from view. Only the final result, based on the selected function, is displayed. Under Consolidate by Setting, select either row labels or column labels, if the cells of the source data range are not to be consolidated corresponding to the identical position of the cell in the range, but instead according to a matching row label or column label. To consolidate by row labels or column labels, the label must be contained in the selected source ranges. The text in the labels must be identical, so that rows or columns can be accurately matched. If the row or column label does not match any that exist in the target range, it will be appended as a new row or column. 9. Click OK to consolidate the ranges. 10. If you are continually working with the same range, then you probably want to use Data greater than Define Range to give it a name. Define Range option is Avenue. Available under the Data menu. 63. The data from the consolidation ranges and target range are saved when you save the worksheet. If you later open a worksheet in which consolidation has been defined, this data will again be available. Creating subtotals. Subtotal is a function listed under the mathematical category when you use the function wizard insert greater than function. Because of its usefulness, the function has a graphical interface. It is accessible from Data menu as shown in Figure 2.3. Figure 2.3. Subtotal option under Data menu. Subtotal, totals adds data arranged in an array, that is, a group of cells with labels for columns and/or rows. Using the subtotals dialog, you can select arrays, and then choose a statistical function to apply to them. For efficiency, you can choose up to 3 groups of arrays to which to apply a function. When you click OK, Calc adds subtotals and grand totals to the selected arrays, using the result and result to cell styles for them. Steps to insert subtotal values into a sheet. 1. Ensure that the columns have labels. 2. Select the range of cells that you want to calculate subtotals for, and then choose Data to Subtotals. 3. In the Subtotals dialog, Figure 2.4, in the Group By box, select the column that you want to add the subtotals to. If the contents of the selected column change, the subtotals are automatically recalculated. 4. In the Calculate Subtotals for box, select the columns containing the values that you 64 want to subtotal. 5. In the Use Function box, select the function that you want to use to calculate the subtotals. 6. Click OK. Figure 2.4. Setting up subtotals. If you use more than one group, then you can also arrange the subtotals according to choices made on the dialog's options page. Figure 2.5, including ascending and descending order or using one of the predefined custom sorts defined under Tools menu as Tools to Options to OpenOffice.org Calc to sort lists. Figure 2.5, choosing options for subtotals. 65. Using What If Scenarios. Scenarios are a tool to test what if questions. Each scenario is named, and can be edited and formatted separately. When you print the spreadsheet, only the content of the currently active scenario is printed. A scenario is essentially a saved set of cell values for your calculations. You can easily switch between these sets using the navigator or a drop-down list which can be shown beside the changing cells. For example, if you wanted to calculate the effect of different interest rates on an investment, you could add a scenario for each interest rate, and quickly view the results. Formulas that rely on the values changed by your scenario are updated when the scenario is opened. If all your sources of income used scenarios, you could efficiently build a complex model of your possible income. Creating scenarios. Use Scenarios option under Tools menu to enter variable contents, scenarios, in the same cell. To create a scenario, 1. Select the cells that contain the values that will change between scenarios. To select multiple cells, hold down the Control key as you click each cell. 2. Choose Tools greater than Scenarios. 3. On the Create Scenario dialog, Figure 2.6, enter a name for the new scenario. It's best to use a name that clearly identifies the scenario, not the default name as shown in the illustration. This name is displayed in the navigator and on the title bar of the scenario on the sheet itself. Figure 2.6. Creating a scenario. 66. 4. Optionally add some information to the comment box. The example shows the default comment. This information is displayed in the navigator when you click the scenarios icon and select the desired scenario. 5. Optionally select or deselect the options in the Settings section. See below for more information about these options. 6. Click OK to close the dialog. The new scenario is automatically activated. You can create several scenarios for any given range of cells. Using GoalSeek. Usually, you run a formula to calculate a result based upon existing values. By contrast, using GoalSeek option under Tools menu, you can discover what values will produce the result that you want. To take a simple example, imagine that the Chief Financial Officer of a company is developing sales projections for each quarter of the forthcoming year. She knows what the company's total income must be for the year to satisfy stockholders. She also has a good idea of the company's income in the first 3 quarters, because of the contracts that are already signed. For the fourth quarter, however, no definite income is available. So how much must the company earn in Q4 to reach its goal? The CFO can enter the projected earnings for each of the other 3 quarters along with a formula that totals all 4 quarters. Then she runs a GoalSeek on the empty cell for Q4 sales, and receives her answer. Other uses of GoalSeek may be more complicated, but the method remains the same. Only one argument can be altered in a single GoalSeek. GoalSeek example. To calculate annual interest, I create a table with the values for the capital C number of years N and interest rate R. The formula is I equals C asterisk N asterisk R. Let us assume that the interest rate R of 7.5% and the number of years N1 will remain constant. However, You want to know how much the investment capital C would have to be modified in order to attain a particular return I. For this example, calculate how much capital C would be required if you want an annual return of $15,000. Enter each of the values mentioned above into adjacent cells. For capital C, an arbitrary value like $100,000, or it can be left blank. For number of years N, 1. For interest rate R, 7.5%. Enter the formula to calculate the interest I in another cell. Instead of C, N, and R. 67. Use the reference to the cell with the corresponding value. In our example, this would be equals B1 asterisk B2 asterisk B3. 1. Place the cursor in the formula cell B4 and choose Tools greater than Goal Seek. 2. On the Goal Seek dialog, the correct cell is already entered in the formula cell field. 3. Place the cursor in the variable cell field. In the sheet, click in the cell that contains the value to be changed. In this example it is B1. 4. Enter the desired result of the formula in the target value field. In this example, the value is 15,000. The figure below shows the cells and fields. Figure 2.7. Example setup for Goal Seek 5. Click OK. A dialog appears informing you that the goal seek was successful. Click Yes to enter the result in the cell with the variable value. The result is shown below. Figure 2.8. Result of goal seek operation using the solver option under Tools menu amounts to a more elaborate form of goal seek. The difference is that the solver deals with equations with multiple unknown variables. It is 67. Use the reference to the cell with the corresponding value. In our example, this would be equals B1 asterisk B2 asterisk B3. 1. Place the cursor in the formula cell B4 and choose Tools greater than Goal Seek. 2. On the Goal Seek dialog, the correct cell is already entered in the formula cell field. 3. Place the cursor in the variable cell field. In the sheet, click in the cell that contains the value to be changed. In this example it is B1. 4. Enter the desired result of the formula in the target value field. In this example, the value is 15,000. The figure below shows the cells and fields. Figure 2.7. Example setup for Goal Seek 5. Click OK. A dialog appears informing you that the goal seek was successful. Click Yes to enter the result in the cell with the variable value. The result is shown below. Figure 2.8. Result of goal seek operation using the solver option under Tools menu amounts to a more elaborate form of goal seek. The difference is that the solver deals with equations with multiple unknown variables. It is 69. Figure 2.9. Example setup for Solver 4. Choose Tools to Solver. The Solver dialog opens as shown in Figure 2.10. Figure 2.10. The Solver dialog 5. Click in the target cell field. In the sheet, click in the cell that contains the target value. In this example it is cell B4 containing total interest value. 6. Select value of and enter 1000 in the field next to it. In this example, the target cell value is 1000 because your target is a total interest earned of $1,000. Select maximum or minimum if the target cell value needs to be one of those extremes. 7. Click in the By Changing Cells field and click on cell C2 in the sheet. In this example, you need to find the amount invested in Fund X cell C2. 8. Enter limiting conditions for the variables by selecting the cell reference operator. 70. In value fields. In this example, the amount invested in Fund X cell C2 should not be greater than the total amount available cell C4 and should not be less than 0. 9. Click OK. A dialog appears informing you that the solving successfully finished. Click Keep Result to enter the result in the cell with the variable value. The result is shown below. Figure 2.11. Result of Solver Operation Activity Questions. 1. A student is planning her goals about the marks she should attain in the forthcoming semester for examinations in order to achieve a distinction 75%. Assuming that examination of each subject is for 100 marks, her marks of the previous semesters are given as under. Subject 1, Subject 2, Subject 3, Subject 4, Semester 1, 8-2, 6-7, 5-3, 8-7, Semester 2, 8-8, 7-8, 7-6, 6-9, Semester 3, 8-9, 8-5, 9-1, 6-7. Find out how many marks should she obtain in 4th semester to secure distinction. 2. A business owner wants to decide if he should try to increase the sales of product or price of an existing product in order to increase the profit by 10%. Current sales 82, cost per unit 75, profit per unit 12. 71. The owner believes that he can either increase sales by 5 units without incurring additional costs, while the price can be increased by 8 rupees without affecting the sales. 3. The current profit situation of a business owner is as follows. Current sales 82, cost per unit 75, profit per unit 12. Using the scenario manager, find the effective in the new profit in case of the following situations. A. Sales equals 70 and cost equals 80. B. Sales equals 90 and cost equals 72. C. Sales equals 85 and cost equals 80. D. Sales equals 65 and cost equals 80. Session 2. Link data and spreadsheets using multiple workbooks and linking cells. Relevant knowledge spreadsheet also allows you to link the cells from various worksheets and from various other spreadsheets to summarize data from several sources. In this manner, you can create formulas that span different sources and make calculations using a combination of local and linked information. Multiple sheets help keep information organized. Setting up multiple sheets. Identifying sheets. When you open a new spreadsheet, by default, it has a sheet named Sheet 1 which is managed using tabs at the bottom of the spreadsheet, as shown below. 72. Figure 2.12. Identifying sheets. Inserting new sheets. There are several ways to insert a new sheet. The first step, in all cases, is to select the sheet that will be next to the new sheet. Then do any of the following. Select Insert greater than sheet from the menu bar, or right-click on the tab and select Insert Sheet, or click in an empty space at the end of the line of sheet tabs. Figure 2.13. Creating a new sheet. Each method opens the Insert Sheet dialog. Here you can choose to put the new sheet before or after the selected sheet and how many sheets to insert. Figure 2.13. Inserting new sheets. 73. Figure 2.14. Insert Sheet dialog. We need 6 sheets. 1 for each of the 5 accounts and 1 is a summary sheet, so we will add 3 more. We also want to name each of these sheets for the account they represent. Summary, checking account, savings account, credit card 1, credit card 2, and car loan. We have 2 choices. Insert 3 new sheets and rename all 6 sheets afterwards, or rename the existing sheets, then insert the 3 new sheets one at a time, renaming each new sheet during the insert step. To insert sheets and rename afterwards. 1. In the Insert Sheet dialog, choose the position for the new sheets. In this example, we use after current sheet. 2. Choose New Sheet and 3 is the no of sheets. 3 sheets are already provided by default. Because you are inserting more than 1 sheet, the name box is not available. 3. Click OK to insert the sheets. 4. For the next steps, go to Renaming Sheets below to insert sheets and name them at the same time. 74.1. Rename the existing sheets Summary, Checking Account, and Savings Account, as described in Renaming Sheets below. 2. In the Insert Sheet dialog, choose the position for the first new sheet. 3. Choose New Sheet and 1 is the no of sheets. The name box is now available. 4. In the name box, type a name for this new sheet, for example Credit Card 1. 5. Click OK to insert the sheet. 6. Repeat steps 1 to 4 for each new sheet, giving them the names Credit Card 2 and Car Loan. On the Insert Sheet dialog, you can also add a sheet from a different spreadsheet file, for example, another Calc or Excel spreadsheet by choosing the From File option. Click Browse and select the file. A list of the available sheets appears in the box. Select the sheet to import. If, after you select the file, no sheets appear, you probably selected an invalid file type, not a spreadsheet, for example. Note, For a shortcut to inserting a sheet from another file, choose Insert greater than Sheet from File from the menu bar. The Insert Sheet dialog opens with the From File option pre-selected, and then the Insert dialog opens on top of it. Inserting sheets from a different spreadsheet if you prefer, select the Link option to insert the external sheet as a link instead as a copy. This is one of several ways to include live data from another spreadsheet. The links can be updated manually to show the current contents of the external file, or, depending on the options you have selected in Tools greater than Options greater than OpenOffice.org Calc greater than General greater than Updating whenever the file is opened. Renaming worksheets at the bottom of each worksheet window is a small tab that indicates the name of the worksheets in the workbook. These names Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3, and so on are not very descriptive. You might want to rename your worksheets to reflect what they contain. For instance, if your workbook contains students' marks in individual subject, then you may want to rename the worksheets as subject names such as English, Mathematics and Social Science, etc. There are 3 ways you can rename a worksheet, and the only difference between them is the way in which you start the renaming process. You can do any of the following. 74.1. Rename the existing sheet Summary, Checking Account, and Savings Account, as described in Renaming Sheets below. 2. In the Insert Sheet dialog, choose the position for the first new sheet. 3. Choose New Sheet and 1 is the No of Sheets. The name box is now available. 4. In the name box, type a name for this new sheet, for example Credit Card 1. 5. Click OK to insert the sheet. 6. Repeat steps 1 to 4 for each new sheet, giving them the names Credit Card 2 and Car Loan. On the Insert Sheet dialog, you can also add a sheet from a different spreadsheet file, for example, another Calc or Excel spreadsheet by choosing the From File option. Click Browse and select the file. A list of the available sheets appears in the box. Select the sheet to import. If, after you select the file, no sheets appear, you probably selected an invalid file type, not a spreadsheet, for example. Note: for a shortcut to inserting a sheet from another file, choose Insert greater than Sheet from File from the menu bar. The Insert Sheet dialog opens with the From File option pre-selected, and then the Insert dialog opens on top of it. Inserting sheets from a different spreadsheet if you prefer, select the Link option to insert the external sheet as a link instead as a copy. This is one of several ways to include live data from another spreadsheet. The links can be updated manually to show the current contents of the external file, or, depending on the options you have selected in Tools greater than Options greater than OpenOffice.org Calc greater than General greater than Updating whenever the file is opened. Renaming worksheets at the bottom of each worksheet window is a small tab that indicates the name of the worksheets in the workbook. These names Sheet 1, Sheet 2, Sheet 3, and so on are not very descriptive. You might want to rename your worksheets to reflect what they contain. For instance, if your workbook contains students' marks in individual subject, then you may want to rename the worksheets as subject names such as English, Mathematics and Social Science, etc. There are 3 ways you can rename a worksheet, and the only difference between them is the way in which you start the renaming process. You can do any of the following. 76.1. Click on the equals icon next to the formula bar. The icons change and an equals sign appears in the formula bars shown below. Figure 2.15 equals sign in formula bar 2. Now, click on the Sheet tab for the sheet containing the cell to be referenced. In this case, that is the checking account sheet as shown below. Figure 2.16 the checking account tab 3. Click on cell F3 where the balance is in the checking account sheet. The phrase, checking account, F3 should appear in the formula bar as shown below. Figure 2.17 cell reference selected 4. Click the green check mark in the formula bar to finish. 5. The summary sheet should now look like the figure below. 77 Figure 2.18. Finished checking account reference. Creating the reference with the keyboard from the figure above, you can deduce how the cell reference is constructed. The reference has 2 parts. The sheet named Checking Account, and the cell reference F3. Notice that they are separated by a period. Note, the sheet will be in single quotes because it contains a space, and the mandatory period always falls outside any quotes. So, you can fill in the savings account cell reference by just typing it in. Assuming that the balance is in the same cell in the savings account sheet, F3, the cell reference should be equals, savings account. F3, figure 2.19 savings account reference. 78 Referencing other worksheets. Calc can link different files together. The process is the same as described for different sheets in a single spreadsheet, but we add one more parameter to indicate which file the sheet is in. Creating the reference with the mouse. To create the reference with the mouse, both spreadsheets need to be open. Select the cell in which the formula is going to be entered. 1. Click the equals icon next to the formula bar. 2. Switch to the other spreadsheet. The process to do this will vary depending on which operating system you are using. 3. Select the sheet savings account and then the reference cell F3. Figure 2.20 selecting the savings account reference cell 4. Switch back to the original spreadsheet. 5. Click on the green check mark on the formula bar. Your spreadsheet should now resemble the figure below. Figure 2.21 linked files. 79 You will get a good feel for the format of the reference if you look closely at the formula bar. Based on this line you can create the reference using the keyboard. Creating the reference with the keyboard. Typing the reference is simple once you know the format the reference takes. The reference has 3 parts to it. Path and file name, sheet name, cell. Looking at the figure above, you can see the general format for the reference is equals, file:// path and file name, $sheet name, cell name. Working with hyperlinks. Hyperlinks can be used in Calc to jump to a different location from within a spreadsheet and can lead to other parts of the current file, to different files or even to websites. Relative and absolute hyperlinks. Hyperlinks can be stored within your file as either relative or absolute. An absolute link will stop working only if the target is moved. A relative link will stop working only if the start and target locations change relative to each other. For instance, if you have 2 spreadsheets in the same folder linked to each other and you move the entire folder to a new location, a relative hyperlink will not break. To change the way that you saves the hyperlinks in your file, select Tools greater than Options greater than Load, Save greater than General and choose if you want URLs saved relatively when referencing the file system, or the internet, or both. You can insert and modify links using the hyperlink dialog. To display the dialog, click the hyperlink icon on the standard toolbar or choose Insert greater than Hyperlink from the menu bar. To turn existing text into a link, highlight it before opening the hyperlink dialog. 80 Figure 2.22 Hyperlink dialog showing details for internet links on the left-hand side. Select one of the 4 types of hyperlinks. Internet. The hyperlink points to a web address, normally starting with http://mail and news. The hyperlink opens an email message that is pre-addressed to a particular recipient. Document. The hyperlink points to a place in either the current worksheet or another existing worksheet. New document. The hyperlink creates a new worksheet. The top right part of the dialog changes according to the choice made for the hyperlink category from the left panel. A full description of all the choices, and their interactions, is beyond the scope of this chapter. Here is a summary of the most common choices used in presentations. For an internet hyperlink, choose the type of hyperlink, choose between web, FTP or telnet, and enter the required web address URL. For a mail and news hyperlink, specify whether it is a mail or news link, the receiver address, and for email, also the subject. 81 For a document hyperlink, specify the worksheet path. The Open File button opens a file browser. Leave this blank if you want to link to a target in the same spreadsheet. Optionally specify the target in the worksheet, for example a specific sheet. Click on the target icon to open the navigator where you can select the target, or if you know the name of the target, you can type it into the box. For a new document type hyperlink, Specify whether to edit the newly created worksheet immediately, edit now, or just create it, edit later, and enter the file name and the type of worksheet to create text, spreadsheet, etc. The Select Path button opens a directory picker dialog. The Further Settings section in the bottom right part of the dialog is common to all the hyperlink types, although some choices are more relevant to some types of links. Set the value of frame to determine how the hyperlink will open. This applies to worksheets that open in a web browser. Form specifies if the link is to be presented as text or as a button. The figure below shows a link formatted as a button. Figure 2.23 author's hyperlink as button text specifies the text that will be visible to the user. If you do not enter anything here, Calc will use the full URL or path as the link text. Note that if the link is relative and you move the file, this text will not change, though the target will. Name is applicable to HTML documents. It specifies text that will be added as a name attribute in the HTML code behind the hyperlink. 82 Linking to external data. You can insert tables from HTML documents, and data located within named ranges from an OpenOffice.org Calc or Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, into a Calc spreadsheet. You can do this in two ways, using the external data dialog or using the navigator. Using the external data dialog. 1. Open the Calc worksheet where the external data is to be inserted. This is the target worksheet. 2. Select the cell where the upper left-hand cell of the external data is to be inserted. 3. Choose Insert to link to external data. 4. On the external data dialog, type the URL of the source worksheet or click the button to open a file selection dialog. Press Enter to get Calc to load the list of available tables. 5. In the Available Tables range list, select the named ranges or tables you want to insert. You can also specify that the ranges or tables are updated every number of seconds. 6. Click OK to close this dialog and insert the linked data. Figure 2.24 Selecting a table or range in a source document from the web. 83 Linking to registered data sources. You can access a variety of databases and other data sources and link them into Calc worksheets. First, you need to register the data source with OpenOffice.org. To register means to tell you what type of data source it is and where the file is located. The way to do this depends on whether or not the data source is a database in *.odb format. To register a data source that is in *.odb format, 1. Choose Tools to Options to OpenOffice.org Base to Databases. 2. Click the New button below the list of registered databases to open the Create Database link dialog. Figure 2.25 Registering databases. 3. Enter the location of the database file, or click Browse to open a file browser and select the database file. 84.4. Type a name to use as the registered name for the database and click OK. The database is added to the list of registered databases. The OK button is enabled only when both fields are filled in. Activity: create a set of worksheets for storing records of marks of different classes and compare all these on a separate worksheet. Questions. 1. How can we rename a worksheet? 2. What are the two ways of referencing cells in other worksheets? 3. Differentiate between relative and absolute hyperlinks. 4. List the procedure involved in linking HTML tables to Calc worksheet. 5. Fill up the blanks. A. At the bottom of each worksheet window is a small tab that indicates the blank of the worksheets in the workbook. B. A. Blank refers to a cell or a range of cells on a worksheet and can be used to find the values or data that you want formula to calculate. Session 3. Sharing worksheet data. Relevant knowledge. In most Office settings, there is a shared drive where teams can store common files for everyone to use. This usually leads to citing of the message, "The document file name is locked for editing by another user." To open a read-only copy of this document, click. This message appears because someone else already has the file open. Sometimes, however, it is necessary to have multiple people working on a file at the same time. This can be to either speed up data entry or simply make things easier for collaboration purposes. 84.4. Type a name to use as the registered name for the database and click OK. The database is added to the list of registered databases. The OK button is enabled only when both fields are filled in. Activity: create a set of worksheets for storing records of marks of different classes and compare all these on a separate worksheet. Questions. 1. How can we rename a worksheet? 2. What are the two ways of referencing cells in other worksheets? 3. Differentiate between relative and absolute hyperlinks. 4. List the procedure involved in linking HTML tables to Calc. Worksheet 5. Fill up the blanks. A. At the bottom of each worksheet window is a small tab that indicates the blank of the worksheets in the workbook. B. A. Blank refers to a cell or a range of cells on a worksheet and can be used to find the values or data that you want formula to calculate. Session 3. Sharing worksheet data. Relevant knowledge. In most office settings, there is a shared drive where teams can store common files for everyone to use. This usually leads to citing of the message. The document file name is locked for editing by another user. To open a read-only copy of this document, click. This message appears because someone else already has the file open. Sometimes, however, it is necessary to have multiple people working on a file at the same time. This can be to either speed up data entry or simply make things easier for collaboration purposes. 86 Mode. You need to save the shared worksheet using another name or path. This creates a copy of the spreadsheet that is not shared. Opening a shared spreadsheet. When you open a spreadsheet that is in shared mode, you see a message that the worksheet is in shared mode and that some features are not available in this mode. You can choose to disable this message for the future. After clicking OK, the worksheet is opened in shared mode. The following features are known to be disabled in a shared spreadsheet. Filled circle edit greater than changes, except for merge document. Filled circle edit greater than compare document. Filled circle edit greater than sheet greater than move copy and delete. Filled circle insert greater than cells shift cells down and shift cells right. Filled circle insert greater than sheet from file. Filled circle insert greater than names. Filled circle insert greater than comment. Filled circle insert greater than picture greater than from file. Filled circle insert greater than movie and sound. Filled circle insert greater than object. Filled circle insert greater than chart. Filled circle insert greater than floating frame. Filled circle format greater than sheet greater than rename. Tab color. Filled circle format greater than merge cells greater than merge and center. Merge cells, split cells. Filled circle format greater than print ranges. Filled circle tools greater than protect document. Filled circle data greater than define range. Filled circle data greater than sort. Filled circle data greater than subtotals. Filled circle data greater than validity. Filled circle data greater than multiple operations. Filled circle data greater than consolidate. Filled circle data greater than group and outline all. Filled circle data greater than data pilot. 87 Saving a shared spreadsheet. When you save a shared spreadsheet, one of several situations may occur. Filled circle. If the worksheet was not modified and saved by another user since you opened it, the worksheet is saved. Filled circle. If the worksheet was modified and saved by another user since you opened it, one of the following events will occur. Filled circle. If the changes do not conflict, the worksheet is saved, the dialog below appears, and any cells modified by the other user are shown with a red border. Figure 2.27 Update message. After saving filled circle, if the changes conflict, the Resolve Conflicts dialog is shown. You must decide for each conflict which version to keep, yours or the other person's. When all conflicts are resolved, the worksheet is saved. While you are resolving the conflicts, no other user can save the shared worksheet. Figure 2.28 Resolve Conflicts dialog. 88 Filled circle. If another user is trying to save the shared worksheet and resolve conflicts, you see a message that the shared spreadsheet file is locked due to a merge and in progress. You can choose to cancel the save command for now, or retry saving later. When you successfully save a shared spreadsheet, the worksheet shows the latest version of all changes that got saved by all users. Note: most spreadsheet software automatically turns off some features in shared workbooks. This is to simplify the workbook since multiple people can be working on the file at the same time. For example, shared workbooks don't allow merging cells, conditional formatting, or inserting pictures, graphs, etc. Perform the following activity till you are confident. S number. Activity 1. Share worksheet data with other users. Record Changes Calc has the feature to track what data was changed, when the change was made, who made the change, and in which cell the change has occurred. If you are the sponsor of a youth baseball team, the coach has submitted a budget to you for the season and you need to edit the costs and return it to her. You are concerned that if you just make the changes, then the coach won't see the changes you made. You decide to use Calc with the Record Changes feature turned on, so that the coach can easily see the changes you have made. The figure below shows the budget spreadsheet your coach submitted. Figure 2.29 Baseball Budget Spreadsheet. 89. Looking over the values, you see a few places where money could be saved. Filled circle post-game snacks can be bought by parents. Filled circle new uniforms can wait, only buy 10 to replace damaged ones. Filled circle buy cheaper baseballs. Filled circle only buy 2 spare gloves. To make these changes, use the Record Changes feature in Calc. To start recording changes, 1. Open the budget spreadsheet. 2. Select Edit greater than Changes greater than Record from the menu bar. 3. Begin editing the worksheet. A colored border, with a dot in the upper left-hand corner, appears around a cell where changes were made. Other reviewers then quickly know which cells were edited. A deleted column or row is marked by a heavy colored bar. Figure 2.30 Edited worksheet with red border on changed cells. 90. Some changes, for example cell formatting, are not recorded and marked. To change the color that indicates changes, select Tools greater than Options greater than OpenOffice.org Calc greater than Changes. Viewing Changes Calc gives you tremendous control over what changes you see when reviewing a worksheet. To change the available filters, select Edit greater than Changes greater than Show. The following dialog opens. Figure 2.31 Show Changes dialog. Using the different settings, you can control which changes appear on screen. You can filter based on filled circle date. Only changes made in a certain time range are displayed. Filled circle author. Only changes made by a specific author are displayed. This is especially useful if you have multiple reviewers on the worksheet. Filled circle range. Only changes made in a specific range of cells are displayed. This is especially useful if you have a large spreadsheet and only want to review a part of it. Filled circle comment. Searches the content of the comments and only displays changes which have comments that match the search criteria. 91. Filled circle Show Accepted Changes. Only changes you accepted are displayed. Filled circle Show Rejected Changes. Only changes you rejected are displayed. You can also access the filter control in the Accept or Reject Changes dialog shown below. Click the Filter tab to get a set of options similar to those shown in the figure above. Adding comments to Changes Calc automatically adds to any recorded change a comment describing what was changed. For example, cell B4 changed from 9 feet to 4 feet. Reviewers and authors can add their comments to explain their changes. To add a comment to a change, 1. Make the change to the spreadsheet. 2. Select the cell with the change. 3. Choose Edit greater than Changes greater than Comments. The dialog shown below appears. The automatically added comment provided by Calc appears in the title bar of this dialog and cannot be edited. 4. Type your own comment and click OK. Figure 2.32 Comment dialog. After you have added a comment to a changed cell, you can see it by hovering the mouse pointer over the cell. 92. Figure 2.33 Comment added to cell B3. The comment also appears in the dialog when you are accepting and rejecting changes. Editing change comments. 1. Select the cell with the comment that you want to edit. 2. Select Edit greater than Changes greater than Comments. 3. Edit the comment and click OK. Accepting or rejecting changes. When you receive a worksheet back with changes, the beauty of the recording changes system becomes evident. Now, as the original author, you can step through each change and decide how to proceed. To begin this process, 1. Open the edited worksheet. 2. Select Edit greater than changes greater than accept or reject. The dialog shown below opens. 3. Calc steps through the changes one at a time. You can choose to accept or reject each change as you go through. Figure 2.34 Accept or Reject Changes dialog. 93 The comment column by default contains an explanation of the change that was made. If the reviewer added a comment to the change, it is displayed, followed by the description of the change. If more than one person has reviewed the worksheet, one reviewer may have modified another reviewer's change. If so, the changes are hierarchically arranged with a plus sign for opening up the hierarchy. On the Filter tab of this dialog, not shown here, you can choose how to filter the list of changes, by date, author, cell range, or comments containing specific terms. After selecting the filter criteria, switch back to the List tab to see the results. Merging worksheets. Sometimes, multiple reviewers return edited versions of a worksheet at the same time. In this case, it may be quicker to review all of these changes at once, rather than one review at a time. For this purpose, Calc provides the feature of merging worksheets. To merge worksheets, all of the edited worksheets need to have recorded changes in them. 1. Open the original worksheet. 2. Select Edit greater than changes greater than merge document. 3. A file selection dialog opens. Select a file you want to merge and click OK. 4. After the worksheets merge, the Accept or Reject Changes dialog opens as shown below, showing changes by more than one reviewer. If you want to merge more worksheets, close the dialog and then repeat steps 2 and 3. Figure 2.35 Accept or Reject for merged worksheets. 94 Now all of the changes are combined into one worksheet and you can accept or reject the changes. Changes from different authors appear in different colors in the worksheet. In this example, all of the changes from Robert are blue and the changes from Mia are red. Figure 2.36 Merged worksheets with different author colors. Comparing documents. When sharing worksheets, reviewers may forget to record the changes they make. This is not a problem with Calc because Calc can find the changes by comparing worksheets. In order to compare worksheets, you need to have the original worksheet and the one that is edited. To compare them, 1. Open the edited worksheet that you want to compare with the original worksheet. 2. Select Edit greater than compare document. 3. An open worksheet dialog appears. Select the original worksheet and click Insert. Calc finds and marks the changes as follows. Filled circle all data that occurs in the edited worksheet but not in the original is identified as inserted. Filled circle all data that is in your original worksheet but is not in the edited worksheet is identified as deleted. Filled circle all data that is changed is marked as changed. Questions. 1. What is the purpose of adding comments? 2. How can we add comments to the changes made? 3. State true, false. 95A. Original author of the worksheet can accept or reject changes made by other users. 4. Fill up the blanks. A. Spreadsheet software allows the user to share the workbook and place it in the blank location where several users can access. Circa. Spreadsheet software can find the changes by blank sheets. Session 4. Create and use macros in spreadsheet. Relevant and knowledge. A macro is a saved sequence of commands or keystrokes that are stored for later use. An example of a simple macro is one that types your address. The OpenOffice.org macro language is very flexible, allowing automation of both simple and complex tasks. Macros are especially useful to repeat a task the same way over and over again. Using the macro recorder, this session provides a basis for understanding the general macro capabilities in OpenOffice.org using the macro recorder. The following steps create a macro that performs paste special with multiply. 1. Open a new spreadsheet. 2. Enter numbers into a sheet. Figure 2.37 Enter numbers. 3. Select cell A3, which contains the number 3, and copy the value to the clipboard. 4. Select the range A1, C3. 5. Use tools greater than macros greater than record macro to start the macro recorder. The record macro dialog is displayed with a stop recording button. 96 Figure 2.38 Stop recording button. 6. Use edit greater than paste special to open the paste special dialog. Figure 2.39 Paste special dialog. 7. Set the operation to multiply and click OK. The cells are now multiplied by 3. Figure 2.40 cells multiplied by 3. 8. Click Stop Recording to stop the macro recorder. The OpenOffice.org Basic Macros dialog opens. 97.9. Select the current worksheet. For this example, the current calc worksheet is untitled 1. Existing worksheets show a library named Standard. This library is not created until the worksheet is saved, or the library is needed, so at this point your new worksheet does not contain a library. You can create a new library to contain the macro, but this is not necessary. Figure 2.41 Select the standard library if it exists. 10. Click New Module. If no libraries exist, then the standard library is automatically created and used. In the New Module dialog, type a name for the new module or leave the name as Module 1. Figure 2.42 New Module dialog box. 98.11. Click OK to create a module named Module 1. Select the newly created Module 1, enter the macro name Paste Multiply and click Save. Figure 2.43 Select the module and name the macro. 12. The created macro is saved in Module 1 of the standard library in the Untitled 1 worksheet. Using a macro as a function using the newly created calc worksheet calc test macros.odds. Enter the formula equals number 5, see figure 2.44. Calc finds the macro and calls it. Figure 2.44 Use the number 5 macro as a calc function. Note, function names are not case sensitive. You can enter equals number 5 and calc clearly shows equals number 5. 99 Save the calc document, close it, and open it again. Depending on your settings in Tools greater than Options greater than OpenOffice.org greater than Security greater than Macro Security, calc will display one of the warnings shown below. You will need to click Enable Macros, or calc will not allow any macros to be run inside the document. OO warns you that a document contains macros. Warning: if macros are disabled. If you choose to disable macros, then when the document loads, calc can no longer find the function. Figure 2.45 The function is gone. 99 Save the calc document, close it, and open it again. Depending on your settings in Tools greater than Options greater than OpenOffice.org greater than Security greater than Macro Security, calc will display one of the warnings shown below. You will need to click Enable Macros, or calc will not allow any macros to be run inside the document. OO warns you that a document contains macros. Warning: if macros are disabled. If you choose to disable macros, then when the document loads, calc can no longer find the function. Figure 2.45 The function is gone. 1012. Change the name of number 5 to number 5 underscore implementation. See Listing 3. Listing 3. Change the name of number 5 to number 5 underscore implementation function. Number 5 underscore implementation, number 5 underscore implementation equals 5 and function 3. In the basic IDE, hover the mouse cursor over the toolbar buttons to display the tool tips. Click the Select Macro button to open the OpenOffice.org Basic Macros dialog. 4. Select the standard library in the Calc Test Macros document and click New to create a new module. Enter a meaningful name such as calc functions and click OK. OO automatically creates a macro named main and opens the module for editing. 5. Create a macro in the standard library that calls the implementation function. See Listing 4. The new macro loads the author's calc macros library if it is not already loaded, and then calls the implementation function. Listing 4. Change the name of number 5 to number 5 underscore implementation. Function number 5, if not basic libraries, is library loaded author's calc macros. then basic libraries. Load library authors calc macros. End if number 5 equals number 5 underscore implementation, end function save, close, and reopen the calc document. This time, the number 5 function works. Passing arguments to macros. To illustrate a function that accepts arguments, we will write a macro that calculates the sum of its arguments that are positive. It will ignore arguments that are less than 0. See listing 5. Listing 5. Positive sum calculates the sum of the positive arguments. 102. The macro in listing 5 demonstrates a couple of important techniques. 1. The argument x is optional. If the argument is not optional and it is called without an argument, U prints a warning message every time the macro is called. If calc calls the function many times, then the error is displayed many times. 2. Is missing checks that an argument was passed before the argument is used. 3. Is array checks to see if the argument is a single value, or an array. For example, equals positive sum 7 or equals positive sum A4. In the first case, the number 7 is passed as an argument, and in the second case, the value of cell A4 is passed to the function. 4. If a range is passed to the function, it is passed as a two-dimensional array of values, for example, equals positive sum A2, B5. L-bound and U-bound are used to determine the array bounds that are used. Although the lower bound is 1, it is considered safer to use L-bound in case it changes in the future. Note: the macro in listing 5 is careful and checks to see if the argument is an array or a single argument. The macro does not verify that each value is numeric. You may be as careful as you desire. The more things you check, the more robust the macro is, and the slower it runs. 103. Passing one argument is as easy as passing two. Add another argument to the function definition. See listing 6. When calling a function with two arguments, separate the arguments with a semicolon, for example, equals testmax 3, minus 4. Listing 6. Testmax accepts two arguments and returns the larger of the two. Passing arguments is values. Arguments passed to a macro from calc are always values. It is not possible to know what cells, if any, are used. For example, equals positive sum A3 passes the value of cell A3, and positive sum has no way of knowing that cell A3 was used. If you must know which cells are referenced rather than the values in the cells, pass the range as a string, parse the string, and obtain the values in the referenced cells. Writing macros that act like built-in functions. Although calc finds and calls macros as normal functions, they do not really behave as built-in functions. For example, macros do not appear in the function lists. It is possible to write functions that behave as regular functions by writing an add-in. Accessing cells directly. You can access the U internal objects directly to manipulate a calc document. For example, the macro in listing 7 adds the values in cell A2 from every sheet in the current document. This component is set by *basic when the macro starts to reference the current document. A calc document contains sheets. This component, getSheets, use getCell by position call, row to return a cell at a specific row and column. 104. Listing 7. Add cell A2 in every sheet. Sorting data can be automated in OpenOffice by creating a macro in calc. Data can be sorted on a single column or more than one column. Each time the macro runs, the data gets sorted. Such macros can be written using code in OpenOffice. Consider sorting the data in the figure below. First, sort on column B descending and then column A ascending. Figure 2.47 sort column B descending and column A ascending. The example in listing 9, however, demonstrates how to sort on two columns. 105. Listing 9. Sort cells A1, C5 on sheet 1. Sub-sort range dim O sheet, calc sheet containing data to sort. Dim O cell range, data range to sort. Rem. An array of sort fields determines the columns that are rem sorted. This is an array with two elements, 0 and 1. Rem to sort on only one column. Use. Rem dim O sort fields 0 as new com.sun. Star. Util. Sort field dim O sort fields 1 as new com.sun. Star. Util. Sort field rem. The sort descriptor is an array of properties. Rem. The primary property contains the sort fields. Dim O sort desk 0 as new com.sun. Star. Beans. Property value rem. Get the sheet named. Sheet 1 inch O sheet equals this component. Sheets. Get by name sheet 1 inch rem. Get the cell range to sort O cell range equals O sheet. Get cell range by name A1. C 5 inches rem. Select the range to sort. Rem. The only purpose would be to emphasize the sorted data. This component. Get current controller. Select O cell range rem. The columns are numbered starting with 0, so rem column A is 0, column B is 1, etc. Rem sort column B column 1 descending. O sort fields 0. Field equals 1 O sort fields 0. Sort ascending equals false rem. If column B has 2 cells with the same value, rem then use column ascending to decide the order. O sort fields 1. Field equals 0 O sort fields 1. Sort ascending equals true. 106 rem. Set up the sort descriptor. O sort desk 0. Name equals sort fields O sort desk 0. Value equals O sort fields rem. Sort the range. O cell range. Sort O sort desk n sub. Questions. 1. What are macros? 2. How can we record a macro? 3. Fill up the blank A. Macros are useful to blank a task the same way over and over again.